Joe Phantomaniacs, welcome to the newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. Today, I'm gonna try again, in the words of the legendary metal band Titanica. So I'm recovering from bronchitis. I'm chock full of water. I've got the remnants of a Ricola in my mouth right now, and I'm hoping I can get through this thing. I've tried it twice before, and I didn't have the breath to do a review in the way that I like to do a review. So now, like twice, I got through the intro, and I was like, ooh, I'm just not going to be able to wheeze my way through this. But hopefully today I can, because I want to get this guy out of the box so bad. Firefly is my favorite, I'll often just say favorite character from G.I. Joe, but that's not accurate. It's my favorite character design from G.I. Joe. The urban camo, I always loved I love this insane way he's carrying his blaster here. So check out audiblearmy.com, where we don't use words like blaster. Just the details of the character, everything about him, he just always looked so cool. He was ninja-like without being a ninja. And I don't know, I loved this guy. The toolbox, everything about it. Firefly is one of my favorites. And I am so excited to see Mezco's interpretation of Firefly, because, what they tend to do is take they take inspiration from every source they can to create sort of their ultimate vision of a character. I already know one thing on here that I'm not super stoked about, but let's go ahead and open it up. Obviously, beautiful artwork on the front of the box. Got a nice little glossy logo at the top. But he is barely fitting in this box. He is jammed in here, as you can see. I appreciate Mezco's decision years ago to streamline their boxes a bit, because there's really no reason for them to be as fancy as they were. And I can already tell I'm feeling a lot better today. I should be able to get through this whole review. So we've got our Mezco. This is a product for adults. Don't hand it to a child and expect it to not get broken. And as you've seen on a couple of my reviews, sometimes even an adult can't manage to not break it. So hopefully I will be able to get through this one without causing any significant damage to the figure. I had a great run. Honestly, it's not until I started reviewing these in video form that I started break, because I think I've had 2 breaks on Mezco products. A couple on NECA. I never broke toys, but as I've said before on the show, there's a big difference between just sitting down and opening up a new figure for your own personal enjoyment and doing it on video while trying to point things out and learn things, and also be expedient with your time. Because this is probably going to be half an hour. I don't want it to be half an hour, but in order to give the audience the look that I think they want and everything included, it takes time. But I'm also trying to not rush, but get through things quickly. As opposed to this intro, which is taking forever. So you can see you've actually got some instructions here. Mezco didn't used to do this, and it would frustrate me to no end. I'm very glad now that they have instructions on how all of the little tiny parts interact with each other. I would rather have them and not need them. You know what I mean? So there's that. We'll keep those right over there to the side. You can see the figure and some of the main parts of the accessories are in the front. We've got Mezco's. Okay, we've got another triple tray here. So there is the stand with the articulated arm. I'll go ahead and just show you how that works right now. Get that out of the way. Oh, is it taped? No, I'm just not pulling it at the right angle. Okay. So you've got a Mylar bag to store all the parts. I never use these because I do actually keep the boxes for my Mezcos. Because I don't keep boxes for anything else, really. But I keep them for these because I want all of these accessories. I mean, look at this. This is absolute insanity. I don't want it just in a bag. And they keep them nice and compartmentalized and safe. So the basic stand has a peg in it, which most of my Mezcos are just on the foot peg, which you can see is a little shallower or a little shorter than you might think works. but very rarely do they ever fall over. So clearly their engineering works out. And the way that you switch out for the articulated arm is flip the stand over, find the back of that peg, and just use the peg and the arm to push that little peg out. And then you pop your articulated arm in there. I mean, I won't be using this for Firefly because he's not going to be jumping or kicking or flying or anything like that. But I have found these to be the very best action figure stands of all time, because I have a number of figures, including a heavy Iron Man that actually has die-cast metal parts that have been floating using those arms for years now. They do not weaken over time. These are very, very solidly made pieces of toy technology. So I'm going to keep the stand out because I will be using that. In general, I'm pretty opposed to action figure stands, but for the Mezcos, just the way that they're designed and weighted and everything else, and all the stands look so nice. These are more, this is going to sound corny, but museum quality display pieces than they are just action figures. So I don't mind having these gigantic stands taking up a lot of real estate on the shelf. And also because I just don't have, well, I don't have as many Mezcos as I used to. But my section is far from full. I'll just say that. So the stands are not a problem. Save all the little bits and pieces of the packaging. Absolutely love this camo. First off, first thing I see, gorgeous. Man. Okay. So if you want to know how this measures up against a classified figure, here is not, I could never put them on the same shelf, but some people do. Here is our 00 Snake Eyes next to this 112 Firefly. 00 Snake Eyes comes in just over 6 inches, and our Mezco Firefly is about 6 1/4. So you could put them on the shelf together proportionally and height-wise, but aesthetically I just can't mix these two things. So let's get a closer look at this figure. So articulation, these are far, far better articulated than any mainline retail off-the-shelf figures you're going to get. But you do have to contend with the soft goods and the way that it moves around the articulation. As you can see there, you bend that leg all the way and you've got trousers pulling up out of the boot. Now it goes right back in, not a problem. But it is just something you have to be conscious of, as you're going to be dealing with those soft goods and the way that they move. But all of the joints move really nicely out of the box. You can see, look at that nice and deep knee bend. And, you know, the advantage here of these soft goods is that you don't have the ugly joints. I am personally not a fan of double jointed knees and elbows on my mainline retail figures, because I just don't think they look good. They look weird when they're moved. They look weird when they're static. I just don't like them. Great seated position there. And he has coveralls. You can see it's a one piece. And Mezco has, you know, if you don't like soft goods, you don't like soft goods. And I'm not going to change your mind about that. But Mezco has perfected soft goods at this small scale. These are basically small Hot Toys. They just are. The stitching, the seams, the way they've done the design on these, the thickness of the fabrics that they use, it all looks very natural for this scale, which is so hard to achieve. I mean, look at this collar. Look at the way the collar is stitched and the way it sits. It looks right. It doesn't look like it's too big or it's standing up or has a problem. And I love this turtleneck underneath his shirt. How cool is this? Great little piece. The portrait, he's got the angry eyes. He's got the scarring that we saw in the first classified release, the Cobra Island release. And then he's got the modern military vest situation going on, which is, oh, it is removable. I didn't expect that. So I'm not going to take that off because I don't have any reason to, but that is pretty cool that it works that way. And then his default in the box hands are some highly detailed gloves. And we'll take a look at the rest of his hands. He's got like a dozen different hands available. And these are on, I'm trying to push his sleeve up enough so you can see it. But they are, there you go. So you've got a full range of motion on those wrists. Those will turn around so they can go up and down, side to side, however you want to pose them. Boots. Again, great detail. Treads look awesome. And I'm not going to do a comparison here with any other Firefly figures because, like I said, Mezco does its own thing. And I get a little stitching hanging out of the bottom of the leg right there. But I'll take some tweezers and tuck that. Oh, it's because the soft goods popped out of the boot. So see that, and that is, look, I'm not going to lie, it's something you got to contend with these. And I don't love it, but at the same time, you know, at the end of the day, the look that these have is so top-notch and unique that I'll deal with that. But I'm going to take tweezers and tuck that back in there. But if that's something you don't want to deal with, then I totally get it. I understand people who are not fans of this style, this aesthetic. I get it. So there you go. The figure itself is an awesome Firefly. It is very faithful to the original design, but is souped up and has a little modernity to it. That's a word, right? Oh, and then I didn't point this out. I was getting ready to, and then I noticed that string. So here is my main point of dissatisfaction with Mezco's, and it's across the line, and there's just, you know, it is what it is. Their ankle joints are terrible. That's it. That's all the movement you get out of the, it's on a peg, and it's just not a good ankle joint. And it's because they don't want to do a standard disc and peg joint. They want to preserve a certain look, and they have chosen that over the articulation. But it drives me a little nuts because you have so much articulation in the rest of the body. But at the end of the day, if the ankles don't move very well, then so much of the articulation from here down is a waste. But everything else about these figures is so excellent to me that it balances out. Okay, so let's stand Firefly over here to the side and take a look at his primary loadout, which is in the top of the box. Here, let's do this way because this is going to get confusing. Here is my main source of disappointment. Oh man, those straps look great though. So, I might take that vest he's got on off. Yeah, you know what? I think I will, just because I want to see what he looks like underneath it. Look at this. This is nuts. So we have actual functioning clips for his backpack. I'm just disappointed because they have designed his backpack to interact with the drones and the explosives. And I really wanted to see what Mezco could do with his toolbox. And they didn't go that route. And it's just not, that's what I wanted. All right, so let's take this off and see what the coveralls look like underneath. Pretty cool. I think I might actually leave this piece off, though. Man, look at that. So nicely done. So I'm going to leave that off for now, and let's kit him up with this backpack. So you can see he's got shells. Got the rings up here. Got some canister grenades. Beautiful. I am not a huge fan of... Yeah, see, I think that's going to look much better. I understand how practical this is for actual military. But I'm just not a huge fan of this look. I'm just not. That's all I got to say about it. So as you can see, the backpack is designed to fit over that bulky vest. I mean, these aren't actually... No, they're not. Okay, I was wondering if these were adjustable. They're not, but they certainly are designed to look like they are. These clips are scaring me a little bit. There we go. Look at that. And now that I've got one side clipped in, I am kind of wondering... Oh my gosh. If you need the bulk of that vest under this for it to sit properly. And you just might. So before I get too much further... Okay. Whew. Just how tiny that is. It's going to be a challenge to get that in there correctly. I'm actually kind of shocked I got one in at all. And this is where another spot where I can kind of get, look, how much detail do we need? Do these things actually need to function this way? Because now, look, that's clipped in, which I may just leave it and try and slide that over his arm and his head, since that side was so difficult. But I guess I am going to put this vest back on, because that thickness is just going to be needed for that to look correct. Get that situated, pull that part back down. And this is, look, this is another reason to maybe not, that I understand people not being a huge fan of the soft goods, is, oh, I'm not going to be able to get that arm all the way up. There we go. Let's hope this works. As they are, you know, they are a little awkward to fiddle around with. Oh, thank goodness. Look at that. Okay. And at the end of the day, if I'm being honest, I do... With these figures, even though there's so much customization, and you can fiddle around so much and give them, in general, a lot of different looks, I do kind of want them on the shelf with the default Mezco look. Because they are very special figures. Pull that down, there you go. So... And it does. It needs that bulk of the vest underneath for the backpack to sit right. So, cool. Okay, and then we've got his little... Oh, it has wheels. The wheels function. So this is absolutely inspired by the Cobra Island Classified version. Look at the little wheels and how well they roll. Oh my gosh. Wait, can I... What have I got here? Hang on. Sometimes I just like to... have a little dumb fun here. I just want you guys to see, to have a practical demonstration of how well these wheels roll. Look at that. And that thing just rolls like crazy. That's beautiful. Get a little slope here. That is fantastic. And again, this is This is where Mezco's attention to detail comes in and makes these figures just a level above anything else you can buy. They needed these wheels to be this free rolling. They needed them to be like Hot Wheels Matchbox quality, and they are. So this, it must connect in like, let's see. Look at that. Connects right into the backpack. Absolutely beautiful. And you can see, if you didn't see this detail before, because I was kind of looking at other stuff, he does have his little tools up there in the top portion. So snap that shut. He's got his little drone, or his land drone, I guess, RC drone held in place. And then, oh my gosh, you guys, he's also got the flying drones, and look, holy cow. That's crazy. And these are going to attach right here. See, there's clearly a peg right there where these kind of engage. I don't think they go that way. No. Oh, there we go. Just pop into place. So we've got the one. And then here is the second one, same, identical, same thing. And that's going to plug into place over here. Again, I mean, this is what I'm talking about. This is a completely different action figure experience. Look at the little Cobra logo up there. Beautiful. So that is all contained in the backpack. Which, at first, I was disappointed. And I still wish there was a toolbox version. But, oh my gosh, this is incredible. So we've got his... Get ready for more crazy little detail. So he's got his wrist guard with a remote built in. And that, look, I'm not going to put this on right now. I'll put a stop because we're already 23 minutes into this thing. What I'll do is show you all the accessories and then gear him up and come back and do a little review of that. What the heck is this? Oh, this goes on his leg. Oh, okay. So this is going to play. Is he got a whole belt too? So this is a leg piece. This is the other side, which is a holster for his blaster. This is a sheath. This is nuts. And another one. And then a full-size knife sheath. And some goggles, which are indeed translucent. And then we've got, look, I'm not going to go through all of the hands because this is turning into a marathon review. I think he has the most accessories of any G.I. Joe Mezco release thus far. So you've got an alternate portrait that is, I believe, just angrier eyes. A little more expressive. And then, what else could there be? I don't see how you could even get 3 portraits out of this guy. And then, just different. Okay. So you've got concentrating, furious, and I guess that's his neutral expression. And then a ton of, I'm not going to go through all of them, but you can see a bunch of hands designed to interact with the different accessories. All right. And then finally, or our final tray, at least. I should have just made this a 4-part, week-long review. You've got his belt. And these are the pegs that will connect to the thigh holsters that we'll take a look at in a minute. Well, at least I thought they... Oh, wait a minute. Oh, what? So you get to customize how you want. Wow. Okay, sorry. That's not working really well. You can pull these pouches off, because there's the front buckle, and decide if you want to have these pouches on here. So this one, and then these 3 are removable, or actually I guess these 2 are removable. And then these will plug onto those pegs. There are smoke effects. There are 2 of these. That we'll explore a little bit more in a minute, because you can see there's a small peg on one side and a large peg on the other. And I'm wondering if it's so the drones can connect. All right, we got to take a look at this right now, because it looks to me like... Yep. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Holy cow. See, that's beautiful. Some dynamic engagement with the accessories, and the launch effects are different shapes. So you don't have just 2 of the same thing going on. Oh my gosh, that's absolutely awesome. You got some classic old school dynamite. I love it. Tons of detail, looks great. And look, here's one of the advantages of these. If you are into figure photography, all of this stuff can work with classified. This is what I'm talking about. If I was just sitting here opening this, this could sit here while I look at this thing, but I can't do that because it doesn't focus that way. Look at that. It's beautiful. And then you've got the... I keep saying you've got. I try to avoid stuff like that. Try to avoid ums, I try to avoid you know, I try to avoid you gots, any repeated phrases, but as I said, I'm not at my best today. And I'm amazed I've gone 30 minutes now without a wheeze. I'm feeling better. I've got a port for the blast effects on there. and 3 different blast effects that all look absolutely fantastic with the translucent, a little bit of paint on them, and then you can actually see. Oh, they forgot to paint a bullet, it looks like. Or is that... No, that's just a blast. I don't think that's... No, that... I don't know. Yeah, that's supposed to be a bullet, because look, looks almost the same as that. They just missed a paint app on that. Because that tip should be silver, I think. But still, great looking blast effects. And then finally, the hand blaster with also a port. And really nice looking little piece there. And lastly, but not leastly, the huge assortment of teeny tiny little accessories. A number of different magazines. Oh, these can interchange with the belt, I bet. With the pouches on the belt. If I could flip that over. Oh, maybe not. No, that's just its own little piece, its own little device. That, let's see. So it's these. It's these little detonators. Or explosive devices, or whatever they're meant to be. So they're on the figure, but they are also separate little pieces. And then you've got some pouches that can go somewhere. And a couple of, again, the stuff that you see on the figure is represented separately as well, so you don't have canister grenades that you can't actually use. Like, they're permanently affixed to his backpack straps, but you still have separate ones. Look at the damage on those knife blades, those throwing knives. And of course, Firefly has to have his little walkie-talkie, cell phone communication device, whatever you want to call it, as the original figure did. A little tablet there. So there you go. There are the teeny tiny little pieces. So I'm going to stop so you don't have to watch me struggle with getting this guy geared up, and we'll take a look. Okay, so I decided why not in fast forward, because that doesn't hurt anybody. I'm a little disappointed in a couple of things. One, that there's not a hand that really interacts with the dynamite very well. I was hoping maybe this one could be stretched a little bit to hold it, but not really. And the goggles are a little big. You can see they're kind of loose on there. But I don't love how they look anyway, and Firefly, my Firefly doesn't wear goggles. So I won't be displaying them anyway, but they are a little loose. Other than that, this is a figure of the year contender, a fantastic design, and even though I initially was disappointed in the backpack, I gotta say, for what Mezco does, for the creativity that they bring, for the style that they bring, this is more in line with what I want out of Mezco than however detailed they would have made the toolbox. So everything's plugged in and it's all secure. A little weight test there. You can see these are hanging in very nicely. Everything pegged in really well. This is a phenomenal action figure. This is the best Firefly figure ever made. Well, it's the best Firefly figure I've ever owned, and I've owned a lot. So there you go. That's, what more can you say? I'm going to figure out what to do with this left hand. But you can see all of this stuff is in place now. There's a little tiny knife. There's a larger knife down there on his boot, but you can put them wherever you want. That is Mezco's 112 Collective Firefly. I still have my voice. I might even do another review just because. But no, actually I'm not, because I want to do photography for this one for the thumbnail, and then I want to play around with this guy a little more. So no, I am not going to do another review. I'm just going to enjoy this incredible work of art from Mezco. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about needless things, and until next time, buy what you like.
Smash that like button if you like needless things.